today we have uh, agitation in Maruti's Manesar plant. So what do you think is happening at the moment in this part of the country, and why the workers are agitating at this rate?
Actually, there are two parts of the thing. Generally, throughout the country, the workers are on agitation because the general reason is that neoliberal economic policy model is become much more repressive on the workers, which is at the same time generating huge surplus for the employers, huge profit for the employers, but at the same time it is suppressing the earnings of the workers, bringing it down to below subsistence level, and also their other basic rights at the workplace, including safety and social security, are being those are being totally neglected and ignored. So generally there is a feeling of serious deprivation among the mass of the workers. They see how the profit is multiplying even in the worst year of recession throughout the country. The profit is multiplying, and they also see how, despite speedily increasing the prices of essential commodities, making their life much more difficult, their own earnings is going down in relative terms, making their life difficult. So that is, in general, there is a sense of serious deprivation among the workers, and at the same time that sense is also a reflection of their increased consciousness of their own important contribution in the whole economy. Without them, the economy cannot run even for a minute. That general agitational atmosphere, a great churning among the mass of the workers to unite and fight, is creating a condition for all the trade union centers in the country. They are coming together on the same platform, and Gurgaon is only one of them. So far as the Gurgaon issue is concerned, the additional reason for that kind of an agitation for, say, in a span of last 1 decade, is that there is an additional factor that the whole governance is extremely repressive. Management, employers are extremely repressive in that area, and that extreme repressive approach of the management is further emboldened, indulged by a government which lost its basic sense of governing the system and establishing a rule of law. Practically, the whole entire government of Haryana is typical of becoming practically a domestic employee of the employers of entire Haryana. If you particularly talk about the Manesar plant, and rather I will ask you, I will want you to recall, it is Manesar now. Some days before it is Rico. Some days before again it was same Maruti Manesar. Some days ago it was Honda. And prior to that, the original plant of Maruti. All these developments happening, that is taking place, you must take note of, none of them are for any increase in wages or increase any financial rights demands of the workers. None of them. All of them come from a very basic, the basic premise was same for all those happenings. It is only workers wanted to have a union of their choice, no demand. And that urge from the workers, that expectation from the workers is very much consistent with the constitutional provisions and the law of the land. The management wanted to impose its own pocket leadership on the workers. They preferred to have a union on their own. As per following the law of the land, they applied for registration of the union, and that itself, only application for registration, has invited dismissal, has invited suspension, and one after another the actions. And that led to the standoff.
But Maruti management has been saying that its good conduct bond is within its right, or also the refusal to accept union or any outside influence
That is also,
within its right.
that's also a novel example. Maruti management is claiming that it is within their right to want a good conduct bond. They are telling. They are making that claim, citing the standing order, certified standing order. Now, as per the Standing Order Act of the company, the both workers and employers must agree on a standing order, and then only it can be certified by the government. In the case of Maruti Suzuki, the standing order was written by Maruti management or Suzuki management. They have taken signature of some trainees who don't know that whether they are going to stay in Maruti. They have just taken signature, and they have that cannot be construed as workers have also agreed to the standing order. That standing order is totally anti-constitutional. That standing order is having only, there are 8 minor misconducts, which includes chewing betel. I can smoke cigarette, somebody can chew betel. But chewing betel, no, they don't write even chewing betel and spitting inside the factory is a misconduct. Okay, I understand. That also they didn't say. Chewing betel inside the company is a misconduct, minor misconduct. And the minor misconduct are 8. And major misconduct, which warrants dismissal, they are 113. I think you will not find a single standing order in the country, single standing order in the country. I am not talking about public sector, leave it that. Even in private sector, you will not find a single standing order which have 113 or 3 major punishment and 8 minor punishment. You can't have. That kind of an imbalance cannot be allowed by the law. That violates the basic spirit of the Constitution, that violates the Standing Order Act itself. But unfortunately, the certifying authority, the government of the state of Haryana, serving at the kitchen of the Maruti Suzuki management, I must say, otherwise they can't certify that.
Maruti's profits have increased many folds after it has come to India and Gurgaon, Manesar specifically. And their sales, their operations, profit, everything has increased. If you would like to elaborate a bit.
The first plant of Maruti was established in the public sector. It was sold to Suzuki. And even that also it was more than a decade that time. Since then till today, the huge surplus earned by Suzuki Corporation speaks volume about the glorious contribution made by the Indian workers to the Japanese multinationals. Suzuki company's total global sales, that is what is Suzuki selling outside Japan, 62% was from Indian soil. That is 62% of that has been produced by Indian workers. During the span of last 10 years, the Suzuki's profit on Indian soil has increased by 2200%. 2200%. Their sales has increased by 400%. Only sale of Indian car. So, this is the contribution of the Indian workers.
And what is their percentage in the share?
And what they are getting? Continuously, their share in the total wealth generation has declined to less than half. It is now hardly 1.95%, which was around 3% 10 years back. Which is around 3% 10 years back, it is now 1.95%, and that to a total figure, if you take out the expenditure towards the wages of officers and senior executives, including board of directors, if you take it out, their share will go well below 1%. Another aspect need to be pointed out here, the kind of criminality that has been indulged in Suzuki management. That should be taken as criminal, because all these things they are trying to do on a particular premise. The second time flare up, what? That there is sabotage, there is quality. Now who are producing? Around 950 regular workers, around 1200 plus contract workers, around 400 trainees, and another 400 apprentice trainees. The regular workers are getting anywhere between 15,000 along with their incentive payment, not a regular payment. 8,000 wages and another 6,000 to 7,000. These workers are the training, contract workers are getting less than half of that, around 6,000-7,000, doing such skilled job and contributing to 2,200% rise in profit. They are getting 1,200 contract workers doing the same job as the regular workers, so getting even half of that. And that precarious condition is of the management, those trainees and apprentice trainees. They are not paid even the minimum wage of the land because they are training. So, and they are utilized in production day in and day out.
And they work as much as a permanent worker
Some
does.
of the dismissals and suspensions, many trainees are also there. Dismissals and suspensions, many trainees are also there. Now, if this be the composition of the workforce, whom do you found responsible for sabotaging or quality? You tell me.
A lot of people are actually criticizing the central trade unions for having sabotaged the movement otherwise. One which, the 13-day strike which happened in June, and now also. Where do you think the trade union movement as a whole in India stands
You see,
today?
this is a novel example, Maruti's case, and or in that matter, I must say, the entire Gurgaon's case is a typical, is a special feature of its own. All those unions where these bottlenecks, fight were, all those employees and their unions they wanted to form, all are independent unions. They don't belong to any central trade unions. Central trade unions went around them to render all support and help to them. The central trade union worked to organize solidarity for them. They never negotiated. The statement that is being made by some overzealous, adventurous elements, again, that's the danger of our trade union movement. Those who are making that kind of aggressive adventurism indulging in. Even that political stream